Come on, it's time to go face Bulgaria. Okay, door, prepare to be opened. Okay, door, prepare to be opened. Good morning, sweet Sofia. Here I am, in the very center of the old town of Bulgaria. Morning. They sure do love the symbols here in Bulgaria of the lion rising up on the hind legs. I'm guessing you have, no, one of the founding fathers of Bulgaria, Vasil Levski. There he is, after the liberation from the Ottoman Turks.
In Bulgaria, this guy is kind of a big deal. And if you don't know him, then Bulgarians are going to judge you for being uncultured swine. But don't worry, I got you. Vasil Levski is a revolutionary leader in the struggle to achieve his country's freedom from Ottoman rule. At this time, in the late 19th century, the Ottomans are clinging onto the Balkans, but their de facto power and influence is waning in a world of revolting nationalist movements. Levski exploited the Ottoman decline by establishing networks of secret revolutionary committees throughout Bulgaria. These intricate, super-secret societies sowed the seeds of an idea of Bulgarian independence and to prepare for mass uprising. Inspired by the French Revolution, Levski is a progressive liberal.
I love the Republic.
As he envisioned Bulgaria to be a democratic republic, guaranteeing ethnic and religious equality, except for Macedonians. Although he was captured and executed by the Turks, his legacy lives on as Bulgaria's national hero, Vasil Levski the Lion-like.
So apparently, after doing some research, I found out this is the central market building. Over there, you can see the large mosque of Sofia. Probably the biggest mosque in Sofia there is. You can see the minaret protruding all the way up there. That's how it is in Islam. I believe those towers are supposed to represent that they are higher than you to God or Allah. And there's another cathedral over there too, yonder highlands. Wow, check out the intricate interior designs of the ceiling roofs for the mosque. I've shown you a lot of Christian Orthodox churches, not enough mosques in this side of the world. Oh, there's a cute little park here. Good morning from Bansky Square in Sofia, Bulgaria. You can see this beautiful well just over here, right in front of the regional archive, I believe. Right by the collapsed bench, over here. There's the very mosque of the square. Check it out. If you don't know much about the Byzantine history, well, here you can see the remains. The Byzantine Empire also reached the far wide areas of Bulgaria too. Sofia also has its own excavation sites, much like many cities in Greece. Here, let's have a walk through. While Bulgaria was digging for the metro, they accidentally uncovered this ancient Roman site. Before the arrival of the Bulgars, all this land was the extent of the Byzantine Empire. So you can still see the old medieval fortifications to this day, reaching far out to these lands of Bulgaria. Residential and commercial buildings. Okay, so Sofia was a fairly populated Roman settlement. Check out the masonry in this. Decimanus Maximus Street, from the late 5th or 6th century. It's a bloody cool name though. Around this time, the Bulgars were still nomadic tribes, migrating across the steppes. Give them another century or two to arrive. And the Slavs, they were migrating southward into the Balkans. Eventually, both culture groups will settle here and assimilate with the local Roman Thracians. And thus Sofia became a melting pot for the future Bulgarians. There's some stuff I want to tell you about this monument. Let's go closer. There appears to be a marathon going on in the very center of Sofia, Bulgaria. The Sofia Marathon. Here's the statue of the Sveta Sofia, which is Bulgarian for Saint Sophia. She watches over the whole city of Sofia, and over there you can see the old communist building of the Largo. Let's turn our attention back to Saint Sophia for now. On that pedestal just over there used to be a statue of Lenin, a symbol of communism and socialism in Bulgaria. However, seeing as Bulgaria is now trying to re-identify itself, in the 1990s that statue of Lenin was taken down, and in 2000 it was replaced with the very Saint Sophia you see here. And here's something for you. Saint Sophia doesn't actually exist. All the influences about this figure, from the wreath to the owl to the crown above her head, all of those are actually Hellenistic figures. That's right, she's a fantasy character. You can probably tell a bit of her influence comes from Athena, the goddess of war, and Sophia. Both are prominent Hellenistic figures.
We have reviewed Athena in the Literatura Olympus video, but unlike Athena, Sophia is not an Olympian god, per se. Her name literally translates to the word wisdom in Greek, and she is depicted as the feminine personification of wisdom. Do not mistake her for a passive concept, as she plays an active celestial role in our world-building lore, even standing as an equal to Jesus Christ, according to Gnostic beliefs. But I will spare you those spiritual details for hot Gothic Wiccan women to explain. You're probably a lot more familiar with Sophia than you might think. Plato would coin the term philosophia, which means lover of wisdom. Therefore, philosophers simp for Sophia, confirmed. Also, the Hagia Sophia, that marvelous Byzantium church, later converted into a mosque, and then a museum, and then a mosque again, means holy wisdom.
So why are Bulgarians using Hellenistic icons to guard over the city of Sofia, despite that she has very little to do with Sofia and Bulgaria itself? Good question. Let's go ask at the Largo. Maybe they'll have the answers we need. Maybe I could join in the marathon. No, I want to show you guys communist architecture. Sweet little chapel there. And here we are at the Largo itself, the very building where decisions are made, as it's the legislative center of all of Bulgaria, centered right here in Sofia. All this architecture structure that you see around me, this is all made during the times of socialist Bulgaria, when communism was present. After the coup d'etat, the communist governments took over, executing the prince and thus ending the other factions. Up there, where you see the Bulgarian flag now, there used to be a star there, the star of communism. And as we discussed, down there, the Sveta Sofia, who's watching over the Largo now, that used to be a statue of Lenin. Let's go in for a closer look. Check out the architecture of communism. More flags there. Probably used to be stars. All of the decision makers from the Communist Party who will gather around here and go in and out of this very central building, the Largo. You can see now flags of the European Union. They probably used to have the hammer and the sickle there. Bulgaria was once a client state of the Soviet Union. Now it's trying to re-identify itself with more liberal values. This is what post-Cold War transformation looks like.
The brutal aggression of Russia against Ukraine profoundly changed our understanding of democracy. We have to change our perspective on corruption. Corruption undermines state sovereignty.
It's erasing its communist past. Sad, but probably necessary. Let's see if we can go into the old communist building. Let's see if we can go into the Largo. Can anyone read that? Now, if anyone can speak Cyrillic, Bulgarian in particular, let me know what that says in the comments. Check out the old communist pillars by the communist windows and the communist doors. This is closed, I can tell. I can tell it's gonna be closed. Yep. Communist bars over here have prevented us from going through the communist doors. But at least we can get a good view of the other buildings for the complex of the Largo, and of course the Sveta Sofia herself in all her beauty. Neat. The Largo. Let's go off to try and find some more communist stuff. As you can see, I'm wearing red because I thought it'd be fitting for the occasion of exploring Bulgaria's communist past. We'll walk through this nice street. Gloria's looking well. Actually, it kind of reminds me of City 17 from Half-Life 2. I would not be surprised if Valve took inspiration from Sofia.
Welcome. Welcome to City 17. You have chosen, or been chosen, to relocate to one of our finest remaining urban centers.
It's a party dedicated to the marathon runners here in Sofia. Wow, it looks festive. I guess this is where all the people are at. And the reason why they weren't out yesterday is probably because they were resting. Resting for the marathon, the big marathon today. And you can see a sign there, Bulgaria, the Grand Hotel of Bulgaria. And yet more socialist architects. I wonder what various ministry of the Politburo or whatever used to be there. Long live the People's Socialist Republic of Bulgaria!
Илия, какво е положението при теб на финала?
True, authentic Bulgarian traditional clothing. Wow. You can do it. The Bulgarian flag flaps in the wind, high above the streets, just over the Alexander Nevsky Cathedral. Well, it's a lot more quiet on this side, so now I figured it would be a good time to tell you guys a bit of historical context as to Bulgaria's existence now. Other than that it was once a Byzantium territory, I'm not too sure on much of old Bulgaria's history. However, I can tell you a bit more about its most recent history. Over there, you can see the Russian Tsar. And for those of you who don't know what the Tsar is, it's basically the king of Russia. He is depicted on the statue over here as to having helped liberated the Bulgarians from the occupation of the Ottoman Empire, the Turks.
In 1876, all eyes were on the Balkans, where the crime of the century was taking place, commonly reported as the Bulgarian Horrors. A premature uprising to spark a popular Bulgarian revolution was met with the heavy-handed, full-force deployment of the Ottoman military. Ottoman reaction was swift, cruel, and merciless, as Bulgarian civilians, rebel or not, became victim to widespread violence and atrocities based on ethnicity and religion. Civilian massacres, such as what infamously took place in Batak, outraged the rest of the world. Turkey was no longer seen as the stabilizing force of the Balkans, but instead a sick, deteriorating oppressor. Meanwhile, in Russia, Tsar Alexander II is rolling up his sleeves, as this is exactly the casus belli he needs to declare war on Turkey and kick their head in for the 10th time. After all, Russia was a Slavic Christian country, Russian to defend other Slavic Christian countries, right? To put it short, Russia won the Russo-Turkish War, concluding with the Treaty of San Stefano. The treaty created the Principality of Bulgaria as an autonomous free state of the Ottomans, yet under the protection of the Russian Empire.
In Bulgaria's War of Liberation, they had assistance from the Tsar of Russia, right there. So I want to get in the horse's face. There we go. There's the Tsar's face too.
It might be safe to conclude the statue of the Russian Tsar in the capital, Sofia, is a testament of the Bulgarian people's love for their Russian liberators. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows. What you have to consider at this time is that great powers do be great powers. Great powers can make kind or heroic actions.
Pizza time.
But that action often hides ulterior motives of long-term ambitions.
The people you liberate will witness the honorable and decent spirit of the American military.
Always take great power motives with a pinch of cynicism. In this instance, we can see Russia wanting a free Bulgarian ally. You can also see Russia wanted to feed Bulgaria territory to proxy expand their own influence in the Balkans. In that case, the relationship between Bulgaria and Russia is less a story of Slavic Orthodox brothers fighting for freedom, and more so the creation of a client vassal state serving Russian interest in the Balkans. Whatever your take, their newfound relationship was strained, because people saw through the Tsar's imperial ambition, and it did piss off many Bulgarians who fought for and just wanted independence, not to be a pawn in a game of geopolitical chess or to swap one oppressor for another.
I should also note that Romanian people also helped liberate Bulgaria from the Ottomans. When I say the Tsar, I mean the Tsar and friends. Of course, we all know what happens to the fate of the Russian Tsar, and I'm talking about the Communist Revolution. That is also a very nice socialist structured building right there. Long live the People's Socialist Democratic Republic of Bulgaria! I imagine this is a monument to a Bulgarian airborne division, maybe. I think it's about time that you and I stop for a quickie. So, let's see what quickie has in store for us. A cornetto. Would you trust this face? Would you? Bloody hell, cigarettes are really cheap in this country. Let's check out some Bulgarian papers. Bulgarian newspapers. I wonder if we can find babushka secrets. Stay hydrated, my H2 bros. Especially when you're sick. There you go. Спасибо. Oh.
Please,
Well,
English.
thank you. Cheers.
Have a nice day.
You too. Bye. They don't want to speak Ruski here. Remember, no Russian. They really don't want to speak Russian here. It upsets them. Guys, check out the old Bulgarian communist apartment building over here. Look at it. Look how old it is. It would have been constructed definitely around the socialist times of Bulgaria. Aksakov Street. Welcome to Aksakov Street. Let's have a look through. Doesn't look so maintained anymore, but that's the charm about it, and I love it. I like it preserved this way. Look, the old communist gates. And the old communist power box thing. Whatchamacallit. Ooh. It looks abandoned, eh? Perhaps someone's cellar and basement for sure. I wonder if this is in use. 1885 to 1952. I can't read Bulgarian, so I don't know what that says. Yes, some of these buildings are still in use. Some people still live in this old communist block. Isn't that exciting? I wonder what this used to be. It's another building that looks like a prison. It's that beautiful, depression-like socialist architect, and I love it. Communist gardens, check it out. Wow, empirical evidence of collectivization. Smashing. In Dexter's laboratory lives the smartest boy you've ever seen, but he blows his experiments to smithereens. I am becoming increasingly concerned that the old Soviet monument may no longer be available. Of course, because Bulgaria is trying to get rid of all of these monuments now and abandon its socialist past. Oh no, wait, there it is. We found it. The Russian freedom fighters at the front, in front of the Bulgarian man and woman. After the Soviet Red Army came in and defeated the Bulgarians in war, the Soviets occupied it for a bit. They allowed the Bulgarian coup to take over, and the coup d'etat leaders were pro-Soviet at the end of the day, believe it or not. The Fatherland Front, led by Kimon Georgiev, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Bulgarian communist, took over power, and with the backing of the Soviet Union, they established a government of the proletariat, turning against the Axis and abolishing the monarchy. And thus Bulgaria fell under the sphere of influence of the Soviet Union. A vassal state, if you will, under the sphere of influence of Moscow. And you can see, well, the statue up there is protected, but the writing down here, not so much. You can see red paint has been thrown over the writing that commemorates the Red Army entering Bulgaria. Red paint is thrown over due to the fact of the recent tragedy occurring in Europe between Ukraine and Russia. From this side of the monument, you can see the Soviet Red Army rushing in to Sofia and other places of Bulgaria, liberating it from its dictatorship, installing a new dictatorship along the way. The Soviet Red Army rush in and occupy it for a bit. And then they would go on to support a coup, turning Bulgaria into a communist country. Look how mad this guy is. Well, there's a lot of wasps here. Apparently a lot of wasps enjoy the Red Army a lot. You see this one here with his mobile Gatling gun at the ready. I reckon he popped a few Nazis. And this woman here shouting onwards to victory. And that guy, that chap there, he's holding the red flag without a shadow of a doubt. No step backwards. Here's the view from the backside with these people down here. They look more like civil engineers or civil servants, people doing manual labor, probably in preparation for laying the foundations of a communist state. Maybe these guys are probably members of Russia, or some of them could be Bulgarians themselves. Probably members of the Fatherland Front. This one looks like a painter or a stonemason. These guys are repairing some device. This woman is carrying a whole load of wheat. These look like city planners of sorts. Mechanics. She is too. And this guy, I don't know what this guy is doing. But look, you can see some of the remnants of graffiti for those that have protested this memorial being here. safe. No step backwards, comrades. And on this side, you have some skaters practicing their tricks. Sadly, no one's doing it for the camera just now. And finally, we have the last view of the Red Army. There's a fun little tidbit for you. This memorial was once graffitied or vandalized, if you want to call it that. I think it was more so a work of art, but people had turned these individuals into Marvel and DC characters. So that guy here would have been like the Joker. This guy here would have been Superman, and so on. Look at them brush in. I will definitely show you a clip of the graffiti made to these memorials. It's pretty exciting. This one is holding a Tommy gun, and these guys are operating the artillery. It goes pew pew pew. Rush bis sukobliat. I apologise for the short one, guys. In all honesty, I've been pretty sick, and I think it's time I head back to the hostel, get some rest in preparation for my next bus that will take me out to Bucharest. I assure you that I will return to Bulgaria. There's a lot more to see than just Sofia. I promise you that. I will probably have to end up returning to Sofia at some point in the near future, or the late future, I don't know. In another long story short, that memorial probably isn't going to last too long. Bulgaria is pretty keen on getting rid of its communist past, unfortunately. Well, maybe necessary as it is, it's still kind of sad to see some history go away like that. So, I hope this video can do it justice and serve it well, and we can always remember it and look back upon it to see that that communist monument was still there.
Hey, post-editing delinquent here. Just want to report that I was unfortunately right about the short life expectancy of this monument. By the time this video is published, the Red Army monument is being dismantled. You will no longer find it in this park. I'm not Bulgarian, nor do I live in Sofia, so it's not my place to judge whether this monument belongs or not. This video can at least be an empirical timepiece of the Red Army's presence here, also reflecting the challenge of shifting attitudes for many Bulgarians who are forced to confront a dark past. A deeply romanticized past marked with Russian influence, yet incompatible with European values. On the bright side, this won't be the last time you see our comrades. The monument will be preserved at the Museum of Socialist Art, which I wanted to visit, but I had a case of the sickies.
Cough cough. Now I am cool. What?
If you want to see it sooner, then you now know where to find it. Otherwise, I look forward to showing you the Red Army's new home next time I hit up Sofia. Remember, comrades, no rush.